we are downtown, and we were able to demo a couple routes from Steamboat Fly Fishing. We have a Winston 9-foot 4-weight with an Able reel. This is going to be for more of your smaller guys, your nymphs and your scuds and stuff, your little guys. And then they gave us a Sage 9-foot 5-weight with a Guru reel. And this is going to be more for your streamers and your bigger flies, and casting into the wind, casting into harsh conditions.
Personally, like when I go fish, usually it's because I have maybe an hour or two, and so I fish downtown a lot more than I fish anywhere else probably.
Okay.
The downtown corridor, if we're talking between like James Brown Bridge and like Walton Creek, where that feeds in that 5 or 6 miles. If you don't have good equipment, then you don't enjoy yourself, you don't have a good time. If your line doesn't match your rod, if your reel freezes up in the wintertime, if your rod is an old, maybe like fiberglass rod from your grandfather's era, you're not gonna have a good time. So it's definitely important you have good equipment. Well, the access to the Yampa is limited because it goes through so much private land, but the public access that we have is awesome. It's phenomenal. It's some of the best fishing in the state. Actually, we'll end up freezing. Most of the stretch will freeze, with the exception of a couple pockets that are near our hot springs. Okay. And that's kind of a cool little local secret. You could go in where the hot springs, what we call the hippie hot springs, where those dump in. And the water's usually open there most of the year. And you can walk on the core trail, and you only have to step, the core trails are paved bike trail in town, and you only have to step about 5 feet off of that to start fishing. So it's more accessible, I think. The only bug that hatches year-round is the midge around here, and so midges are always kind of a good go-to, especially in the wintertime. They're about the only thing that we'll sometimes see there's a little black stonefly that'll start hatching in March, but for the most part, midges are really our only year-round hatch. I mean, I think you're good to fish like RS2s, zebra midges, black beauties. Those are kind of go-to midges for this valley. Yeah, there's a definite fly fishing culture in this town, and so I think one of the cool things about it is that people share information pretty well, which is nice. You can learn pretty quickly. But then again, everybody does have like their little secret fishing spots that they kind of keep to themselves, which is nice too. So not every spot gets run over by locals or by tourists, Mm-hmm. And there's the other thing is that we're surrounded by tens of thousands of acres of public land. Mm-hmm. So there's national forest all around us. There's tons of high creeks and high lakes that nobody even goes to, that you can just go hike around and explore. Don't forget the worm hatch.
Worm hatch.
The worm hatch. The worm hatch is kind of a phenomenon that you don't see in a lot of places, but we get it during our runoff because the river will usually blow out of its banks and rip through all the hay meadows. So from here, when you start going west towards like Hayden and Craig, and it'll flood all these hay meadows, and what that ends up doing is picking up just gazillions of earthworms. And those earthworms will then kind of get funneled back into the main river channel. So after peak runoff when the river's starting to clear and slowly drop, and you can get out there either on a boat or somewhere safe on shore, fish big worms. Because there's a lot of worms in the river that time of year. You know what I think the reason you fish in the winter is solitude. There's not going to be anybody else fighting you for your favorite fishing hole in the winter.
That is true.
You'll get out, you'll get your spot, you'll be by yourself. And then, of course, the community college has a lot of introductory classes. So, a little shameless plug for CMC.
Yeah.